because he was open, but his body.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. October the 1st. Yeah, it's time for the Fall Classic because fall is here. October 1st, 2020. And it's time to talk about some fantasy baseball, football, reality. How about yesterday? 8 playoff games in one day. It was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Then the Yankee game comes on at 7, and it doesn't because of rain. And it's crazy. They delay the game while it's not raining, and they start playing when it is. What a game. Did you watch it? It was an incredible game, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. We've got 3 teams already punched their ticket to the next round. We've also got some fantasy football news this morning. I'll just start with that because this is breaking news just a few minutes ago. The Steeler-Titan game. If you've been under a rock, I'll enlighten you, get you out from under the rock. The Titans played Sunday after the game. Some players and staff both diagnosed with corona. And as a result, the NFL said they were going to postpone the game between the Steelers and the Titans. Well, it was initially yesterday, the discussion was it was going to be either Monday or Tuesday of next week. Now NFL comes out at 9:30 Eastern Time this morning and says they're going to cancel the game in total. So there will be no Steeler-Titan game this week. Now the question is, for us fantasy players who have a Derrick Henry, who have Steeler players, whether it be Juju Schuster or whoever it may be, if they play the game later in the season, when do the stats count? Do they retroactively score it in week 4 when the game was originally scheduled to be played? Or, do they score those points in the week the game is played? A follow-up, the NFL just said a couple minutes ago before I came on the air, in fact, I was watching the story, is that they will have an announcement, quote, shortly, end of quote. Pardon my cough. So we shall see when that game is rescheduled. We shall see the effect of that on fantasy. But let's never forget the most important factor, and that's the health of players, coaches, staff, those associated with going to games. That's the most important thing, is someone's health. And for those who have been diagnosed with the coronavirus, with COVID-19, I just my thoughts are with you, and hope that there's a healing and a quick recovery. That's the most important thing. And we talk about that on here. We love talking our fantasy sports. We love talking about reality sports. We're going to talk about some baseball here in just a moment. But let's never lose track of what is most important, and that is the blessing of good health. And so hopefully these players with the Titans will be back to health, full strength, really soon. Yesterday, I want to go through some of the games. I know it's already been discussed. You've heard it before. I'll give you my insight on it. How about that? Brewers-Dodgers. Let's start at the last game, and let's work up to the afternoon. How about that? Brewers-Dodgers last night on the West Coast. The Dodgers win 4-2 over the Brewers. Your typical Mookie Betts 2 for 4. Corey Seager hits a 447-foot home run last night for LA. The Brewers trying to shake things up, right? I mean, you got to do something. The Brewers, look, This is my take. The Brewers underachieved all season long. They just never quite had the, Brewer touch from a year ago. First of all, it's pretty easy to see that when you look at Yelich, look, he went 2 for 21 over his last 8 games of the season. We know he was flickering around the Mendoza line all year long. The Brewers dropped Keston Hiura to 8th in the order last night. They still lose the game. Early on, the pitching for Milwaukee was just wild. I guess that's the best way of saying it. If you look at their pitching line, Suter, who started, he only goes an inning and 2/3, and he walks 5 hitters. So for every out he got, he also issued a walk. Add to that misery, he gave up 3 hits and 3 earned runs, and the game was really over before it started, and he struck out none. Vogelbach and Yelich both doubled. Now Yelich, hitting in the leadoff spot, did go 2 for 5. Avisail Garcia went 3 for 4. But when you take those 5 hits out of the Brewer lineup, they only had 2 other hits for the rest of the night amongst the other players in the lineup. Braun went 0 for, Gyurko went 0 for, Sogard went 0 for, Hiura went 0 for, Narvaez went 0 for. And look, the Brewer bullpen, called in the 2nd inning last night. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, you look at that Buehler. Now, Buehler, he only threw 4 innings. Remember, Buehler's had that blister issue, a.k.a. Rich Hill, his predecessor. But in 4 innings last night, he struck out 8 batters. Then the Dodgers pieced it with their bullpen. I tell you what, if you watched Julio Urias last night, Urias looked like the prospect we've talked about for years. He threw 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no walks, no runs, 5 strikeouts, followed by Trennan and Jansen. And that's going to be a formula for the Dodgers throughout this playoff, going with Trennan in the 8th, Jansen in the 9th. As long as it's working, it's going to keep working. But last night, Urias, look, he threw 52 pitches in 3 innings. 37 of his 52 pitches were for strikes. That's critical. Whereas you look at Suter, 51 pitches in an inning and 2/3, only 21 were for strikes. So if you think it boils down to pitching, you bet your bippy it does. The Dodgers win 4-2. Today, LA will go with Kershaw as he tries to shake off ghosts of fall classic pasts. Kershaw, long documented, just has never been the playoff pitcher that he has been regular season pitcher. He's going to get a stiff test today. Brandon Woodruff going for Milwaukee. He's the best they have. And it's an elimination game for Milwaukee. That's the great thing about these playoffs in the wild card round. 2 and you're gone. And there were 3 teams eliminated yesterday. We're going to talk about those in just a moment. But that's a look at the Dodger game. Drawing a few more things off of that game last night. Corey Seager, I talked about his bomb. But the middle of the order for the Dodgers, really not productive. Okay? Now, Pollock got an RBI down near the bottom. But look, Turner batting 3rd went 0 for 4. Muncy batting 4th went 0 for 2. Now, he did walk twice. Smith went 0 for 3, and Bellinger hit 1 for 4. So the 3 through 6 hitters combined for 1 hit. It was just the wildness of Suter setting the stage early, and then when he did throw it over, the Dodgers hit it early, and that was the ball game. Buehler and Urias combined for 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. The Dodger pitching is dominant. They're going to hit enough. I think it's sayonara Milwaukee after tonight. We'll see. But 4-2 LA. Now, how about I guess we'll go to another evening game. The Rays and Blue Jays. 8-2. The Blue Jays are eliminated. The Rays advance. Well, we know Tampa is loaded. Okay, they come in the number 1 seed, and they hit up and down their order. They had 12 hits last night off of Hinge and Ryu and others. Ryu only goes an inning and 2/3. Gave up 3 earned, 7 total runs, 2 home runs. The ace in waiting for the Blue Jays will have to wait another year. He looked absolutely overmatched yesterday against these Rays hitters. And you look at the stat lines, Brosseau leads off. He plays against lefties. He got 2 hits. Arizarena with 3 hits. Brandon Lau got a hit. Yandy Diaz back in the lineup for the playoffs, went hitless, but he did play and did walk twice. Margot gets a hit. Renfroe gets a hit. Of course, Renfroe's was a grand slam off Ryu. That was all she wrote for him. Adames a hit. Kiermaier a hit. Zunino 2 hits with a home run. Another one off Ryu. Up and down the order, the Rays were hitting yesterday. They made short work of the Blue Jays. Not really any bright spots in that Blue Jay lineup. The top 3 hitters, the Biggio, Bichette, Lourdes Gurriel, where the Rays needed hits, they combined 0 for 10 yesterday. And that's about all you need to know. 8-2, Tampa advances. They will meet who? They will meet the New York Yankees, baby. That's right. The Yankees advance. What a game in Cleveland last night. It turns out, start the game, they delay it. There's rain. They're playing in the rain. Tanaka has nothing early on. I mean, really nothing. The first inning, the Cleveland Indians score 4 runs. It's 4-0. Things aren't looking good for the Yankees. They scratch for 1 in the second on a home run by Giancarlo Stanton. And then in the fourth, they score 4 runs and take a 5-4 lead. And from that point, it's back and forth, back and forth. In the 8th, we go to the top of the 9th. The Indians lead 9-8. And the Yankees rally. Rally with big hit by Gio Urshela. He homered earlier in the game with a grand slam. The grand slam was in the 4th to put the Yankees ahead. Gio Urshela is quickly becoming a star, not just a regular complimentary player. He is becoming a star on this Yankee team. Giancarlo Stanton came through in a big way with runners on base last night. There was a ball hit by Yankee shortstop Gleyber Torres just over the head of Brett Hand. It looked like a ball Hand could have caught. He muffled it. It puts people on base. LeMahieu after that comes up after a sacrifice fly by Gary Sanchez. And I want to talk about Sanchez in just a moment. But LeMahieu with the runner on drives him in. The go-ahead run. Yankees hold on. Chapman pitches 2 innings in relief, strikes out 4, gets the save. Couple of notes from the game now the Yankees have proceeded on to the next round. First of all, they have no trust whatsoever in Adam Ottavino. He was not in the pitching mix last night. He is not in the circle of trust. I'm wondering if they'll even include him on the next round roster. In a game last night where he certainly, in the past, would have been used, he certainly was not. Another point I want to make, Gary Sanchez, home run, sac fly, for all the criticism he's received, and from me, he has received it too. He played a whale of a game last night. Without Sanchez and Urshela and a few more, it doesn't happen. Stanton came through, 2 walks, a hit, a home run. Great game. It just happened to go the Yankees' way. Now they get to face the Rays on Monday. I'm assuming we'll see Blake Snell, Garrett Cole. It's a best of 5. They play every day through Friday. That rivalry that we have seen develop over the last couple of years will be on full display. Can't wait. Ought to be a good one. Did you watch the Braves-Reds game yesterday? Wow. If you love pitching, you love that game. You look at the Max Fried going against Trevor Bauer. It was a game of aces. Look at their lines real quick. Fried, 7 innings, 6 hits,